but I have a window. I have a window. Am I gonna do makeup or am I gonna watch squirrels all day? Thinking for today's look, we'll just do something very classic, very romantic. I'm gonna do a pink lip. I kind of want it to look like a rose petal. Let's do it. I'm sure you can hear that. Mama is unpacking the kitchen. God love her. But don't worry, she's still making sure that you can hear her. So this is basically my break time. I have been unpacking non-stop and I haven't sat down to do makeup, so I'm taking a break. Plus I have to film a couple TikToks I'm excited to show y'all about. I'm excited to show y'all a product. I'm excited about showing you a product. Break time. I was actually gonna do a tutorial yesterday, but we didn't get internet till late. So I was just like, I couldn't even post. The 2 clips I did upload, I actually uploaded, because the service, oddly enough, without internet around here is a little, not so good. So I actually was at a Starbucks when I even uploaded those, and I was just hoping that I would get internet yesterday, so forgive me. So if you're new here and you're like, what the heck? This is boring. I want to apologize. I am in the process of moving and I'm here now. I have internet. My makeup room is nice and set up, and get ready for the tutorials. A lot of talking, and normally I don't do this much, but like I said, this one's going to be very classic, neutrals, pink, something very just super classic. But then tomorrow I'm going to do an anti-Valentine's Day look. So I want to keep it spicy. I want to do something for everyone. But if you're like, oh, neutrals again, get ready for tomorrow. But also, we all love neutrals. So I'm just trying to do something for everyone. Ooh, I like where this is going. Kind of neutral. We still have like a burgundy brown. This is going to be gorgeous. So I'm actually going to start with this shade, and this palette's new from Dose of Colors. This is their Valentine's Day collection. So pretty. So we'll take that, and I'm just going to go ahead and press that into my crease. I had a really good, ooh, that's really nice and smooth and pigmented. I had a really good idea though. So I'm going to do classic, and then I'm going to spice it up and like turn it into like Euphoria Valentine's Day. But we're starting classic. I also want to mention that this isn't just a classic brown. It has a lot of pink and a lot of burgundy in it. So that's going to be fun. A little bit of a twist. Love the color. So I feel that knowing how to fix mess ups is even more important than even knowing application, because even to the level I'm at, I still mess up. Do you see this right here? Look, all I was doing was I was pressing through here and I bumped there. So that eyeshadow base grabbed that. But just leave it. Don't mess with it. We'll come back to it in a minute. Okay, I feel like it's very crucial to even let you know when I'm gonna wipe off my brush. Sheila loves her new home. She's very happy here. All I'm doing is I'm wiping this off on my towel. It's not microfiber and it is not wet. I'm just lightly dusting it off. These brushes, they pick up the perfect amount. As long as you tap in here like so, I'm actually gonna grab this shade, but as long as you just tap and you don't dig, it's not gonna pick up too much product. So you're gonna be able to go from color to color to color to color without your eyeshadow getting muddy. But it's important to know when I'm wiping the brush where we're at in the tutorial. So now we're gonna take the shade that we picked up, and we only picked up a tiny amount, and we're gonna start to transition. And if you hear snoring, because recently I've gotten a lot of new supporters, but if you hear snoring, do you remember that orange cat that was on my story? That's Jean Bean. Look how pretty that shade is. I did pick up more of it. And I'm gonna go ahead and start to tap it over this way. And I'm thinking about doing a little bit different. Normally I leave it very clean through here, but I kind of want to push that into the brow today. But only from here to here. So not over here towards the brow bone. So smooth. I'm loving the palette. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and grab this shade, but you'll notice that I'm gonna grab it on the tip of the brush. I didn't grab it on the side. The tip is gonna give us the most precision, but we really only need that precision through here. And don't worry about the lid, and also remember this, don't worry about any of that. And also I picked up a very tiny amount because I don't wanna have to over blend this and it get patchy. I mentioned patchy because red shadows, burgundy shadows, purple shadows, and navy or sapphire blue matte shadows, they tend to get very, very patchy. I've talked about it before, but I'll do a video on it. Okay, so I'm not doing a cut crease, and also, good Lord, Jean Bean. Also, I'm not gonna bring my lid up too far. I'm gonna grab a little bit of clean canvas, and I'm grabbing that on the C30 here. And what you're gonna see is I'm actually just going to kind of clean up my natural lid space. I'm gonna go over that fold a little bit. See how it went over the fold? But it's still gonna be hidden, but I do wanna clean that up. I'm gonna clean through here. And you'll see why in a little while, why I'm only doing this. I want as much matte eyeshadow. I can't talk, I'm too excited about being here and looking out my window. I told y'all, window's gonna get me. But what we're gonna do is I want as much matte eyeshadow through here as possible. So I'm still just following the natural shape of my lid. And I'm gonna stop at about right here. Again, I want as much matte eyeshadow through here and through here as possible. Since we have this lid space now, it's kind of connecting to that little mess up that we had there. Now we can just start to wipe that away. Jeannie Beanie. He is actually the one that's been unpacking. He's very sleepy, and that's what it sounds like. Honestly, you want to know what he's been doing? Just sleeping in every single room, just taking little naps. I still want to do a classic black wing, but I think it'll be pretty if we just add a little bit of this shade through here, and it'll just look nice and smoky right above it. Also, if you don't have a steady hand and you're still a little afraid of wing liner, this is going to look really pretty, but let's kind of keep it through here. And I'm gonna go ahead and connect it. But again, we're still gonna do a black wing liner. I also wanna note that I'm doing this before I do any kind of sparkly eyeshadow. And the reasoning for that is once you get sparkles on and you try to blend a matte on top, it's just going to kind of get muddy. It's gonna mix in with your matte, it's gonna become a messy, and it's also gonna be a little bit harder to control and to smoke out. So it's best to do this before we add any shimmer shadows. So now I'm just gonna take whatever's on this brush, and all I did was just kind of tap it over this way, and it'll transition a lighter color if you just kind of feather it over this way. I'm kind of tapping and ever so lightly pulling. I'm gonna grab this shade once again, just a little bit of it, and I'm gonna set here. We're still gonna use the shimmer in here, but we're only gonna use a little bit of it towards the front. So let's go ahead and set the lid. So now we're gonna grab this shade. Look how pretty that is. Grab it on the side of the brush, and I don't want too much. And we'll just kind of press that through here. I'm gonna build it up, so if it doesn't look crazy pigmented, trust me, it is. Here it is in the back of my hand already. It's crazy pigmented. And that is why I'm trying to ever so lightly build it up. I really don't want this to get too shimmery. So I'm kind of just pressing it and then pulling to place it. And I kind of want it to just stop about right there. We're just gonna do a classic wing liner. I'm gonna grab this gel liner here. This one's from Beauty Bay, and the shade is Void. Upside down and backwards. Don't know why I'm trying to show you while I'm using front-face camera. I got excited. And of course, we're going to be using our Rose and Ben Beauty E26. Satisfying. Then we'll fill it in. I'm going to stop it here. I don't want to run out of slides today. In case you're wondering where I disappeared to, I was looking for my spider ball. I had to find it. It was hard to find, but you best believe that I found my spider ball. So lashes, iconic lights. I wore these the other day and y'all went wild, and I don't blame you, because that's a spicy Valentine's Day lash if I've ever seen one. I'm gonna use my MAC. Look how much of this I've used. This is the only MAC foundation that has the perfect shade for me. This is the shade NW20. And this is the cream to powder foundation. And I'm scooping it out. No, I'm throwing it in the floor. No, it slipped out of my hand, but nothing happened. So I'm gonna scoop it out and then I'm just gonna place it. And this is a cream to powder, so I make sure that my skin is nice and hydrated for this. And then I'll just kind of move it around just a little bit, that's enough. Just kind of warming it up and placing it because you can see that it goes on, since I have to scoop it out, that it's gonna go on kind of thick for a second. Now it's smoothed out, let me grab my brush. And Nisa Beauty Pinnacle Foundation Brush, and we'll start to melt this in. I really love this one because it's so smoothing. It is a cream to powder foundation, like I mentioned, but it does give you quite a bit of blending time, so it's not gonna set, and I'm gonna be able to really work that into the skin. Don't forget the ear. And it has medium coverage. I would say it even has almost full coverage. You could layer it and get a little bit more because it doesn't dry too fast. That way you can layer it. So the purple and kind of the burgundy pink tones have pulled quite a bit of darkness out from underneath my eyes, or maybe it was the move. We'll just say it's the eyeshadow. I'm actually going to do a little bit of color correcting, and you can see that this is a nice peach shade. And I'm going to grab it here. And a little bit of corrector goes a long way. Always start with the smallest amount. Sometimes correctors can be harder to cover up. So go with the tiniest amount and build it up. Just kind of take your time, step back and go, is that enough? Because remember, we're still going to put concealer on top of it, but you can see that that already really helped. The reasoning behind corrector isn't to take it and to use it to cover it up. It just kind of gives your concealer a base behind it to kind of hide what you're wanting to hide. So start small. I know I keep saying it, but I get a lot of DMs like, oh, I used corrector, but didn't turn my under eye orange. Just start with very small amounts. Don't think of it as concealer. So I'm gonna be using my Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer today, and I'm working that in with my Nisa Beauty Angle Concealer Brush. I'm gonna really take my time and work that in. It's gonna help with creasing later. Using my Givenchy powder today. These little puffs are everywhere now. Thank goodness. They needed to be. And I'm just gonna go ahead and press this underneath here. I'm gonna look up, make sure I'm setting all of those fine lines. Really work it in there. I wanna do a burgundy waterline. This is Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Free Burgundy. I'm really into burgundy waterlines right now. And also, you know what? If you start here and say you're not really that great at handling something touching your eye, at this point I am very comfortable. But the easiest way is to take it, and our eyes usually aren't as sensitive right here on the corner. So go ahead and just kind of place it there. And then I want you to shut your eye and then just kind of roll this. I'm using my fingers to roll this across my waterline. It's a really easy way to do it. It's a lot more comfortable. If you have sensitive eyes, that's helpful. Now we're gonna grab this shade on an E27. Just press that under here. Again, the reason I press under here is that swiping can sometimes fluff that eyeshadow into your eye, but pressing gives you more control and it's not just gonna dust it all into your eye. So now I'm actually taking the E27 and I'm gonna bring that shadow kind of underneath the wing. I want to keep the eye really rounded. I want you to, Chicken Bean, I love you. You are such a star. I'm very tired. Hang on, let me get it together. So you'll also notice that I didn't clean underneath my wing here. I really kind of wanted to keep the shape very rounded. I can't wake him up. I'm sorry, I can't do it. So the last makeup I did this kind of bronze tour kind of vibe, and I really liked it. I really, really liked it on camera. So it was from this. I started with this. This is an RCMA highlight and contour palette. We're just gonna grab this shade. I'm just gonna grab it on a C31. And we'll just put a little bit there. I don't really go too wild with it. You see that I'm not just drawing big brown lines on my face. That should be enough. And I also want you to keep in mind that I've only set through the center and underneath my eyes. So nothing out here is set. I'm gonna go through here. Again, this is bronzing more than it is contouring. If it was contouring, I would have kind of followed that line through here, but it's not, it's warm. So now we're blending this in. I'm actually filming a quick little kind of bronzer compared to contour. That's where I disappeared to. I'm always filming things and saving it in my drafts, just in case. But for right now, we're gonna blend that bronzer out. Okay, I'm back. I did a little video on contour versus no contour. It's pretty much sums it up. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the contour. This is what I use. This is an eyeshadow from MAC. It's the shade Sandstone, and then I just grabbed my E29 here. And just gonna follow that natural shadow. I'm not gonna go too into detail because I did go into detail in the video, which will be posted on TikTok first. We're gonna use this blush right here from Patrick Ta. We're just gonna use the powder one since everything's pretty much set. Let's see, where do we wanna apply it? Let's kind of apply it here. And then I'm even gonna connect it just a little bit, nothing too dramatic, but just connect it a little bit to the eyeshadow transition that we have coming out through here. Told y'all it was gonna get a little spicy this week. We're not doing a nude lip. Also, if you didn't grab one of these are the Powerline lip liners from Buxom. I don't know the shade, let me look at the shade, but honestly, they're so good. So good. You can wear them alone or as lip liner. And I just love the formula. You have a lot of control with the formula. Then we'll add this hooded lipstick. This is the shade Bachelorette. I'm actually gonna do bottom lashes, but I'm gonna film that on TikTok as well. I normally post everything here on IG too, but you'll probably see it first on TikTok, so make sure you're following me on TikTok. That's it for this part. This is such a pretty look, but once I add the lashes, you'll see. I'm also going to kind of really spice this up. I have a really fun little concept, but I'm just gonna film a quick little tutorial on it because it's not major. It's nothing like taking this off. You'll see, it's really cute. I love you all. I honestly feel so creative. I feel like a breath of fresh air has just fallen over me. I'm so excited to create. It feels so good to be here at the new house, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for what we're gonna do, what we're gonna create. I love all of you so much, and I will see y'all in a little while.